Good evening, treasured colleagues. My name's Toby K. Here is another tutorial for v4 Gamma. You can find the patch in this tutorial in the VL.ExtendedTutorials Nuget. This one's about bangs. The glorious, inglorious bang. You've used it a lot. You right click on these things and they're Boolean values that are high for one frame, low another frame. They're great for events, for representing that something has triggered. You can even be cheeky and run them for more than one frame if you indeed want something to run every single frame. Then it's more like a toggle. They have an Achilles heel you may have run into. So normally they won't work great. I'm using them all the time. I'm not advocating you should change all your bangs to tickets, but tickets are a good solution for a problem I run into fairly often. So in a static operation, you can't use nodes like static. In a stateless operation, you can't use nodes. It is a static operation, which is stateless. You can't use nodes like TogEdge because it relies on state to monitor your input to be able to do the second frame where it puts your Boolean value low. The other problem you run into is here we've got a class and we've got this operation we only want to run for one frame because the user presses enter or whatever, and for one frame we're going to add a rectangle. This also doesn't have the chance to run for a second frame where it's going to put a trigger low. Where this runs into issues is, for example, where we have drawing in a cache and we only want to update it when the rectangle is updated. So the naive and bad solution here is we've used a bang, a Boolean value, and then on add rect it gets set high, and you can already see that it'll just get set high and stay high. Let's do it. There it is, staying high. A cache running every frame, wasting all that performance drawing 3 rectangles every frame. So the solution is to use tickets. Tickets are a really simple, reliable way to pass these triggers, particularly inside this context of a single class or object where you need operations inside that class to tell each other to recalculate something or basically pass a trigger. So if we look at this one, we have this ticket solution. The ticket is just a value. Byte I've used could be integer. When we run the add rect operation, you add 1 to it, and then we detect that that's changed here in the draw operation, and that will re-trigger the cache. Let's run it. Amazing, incredible, hold your applause. It doesn't run every frame. What a technical achievement. I think I could take that to SIGGRAPH. But seriously, that's quite handy, and it doesn't need to be just on drawing. I've often had use cases where, for example, the terrain was edited and then I wanted to inform agents, had a ticket that was, please redo your pathfinding. For more advanced cases, reactive is your friend. Reactive, if you've never used it, allows you to send anything. I've got a string here, a message that's anything, and say this message is an event. And most of the reactive nodes, it's pretty complicated, but most of the reactive nodes could effectively work in a stateless or a single frame context, and that message will only be emitted once and be both a trigger and contain the information you need for some downstream processing to actually occur. Okay, that's it. Hope these things are useful. Have a great evening.